Reddit. Teach me some street smarts. Hopefully someone else tells you how to spot people who might cause some trouble. Once you're able to do that, and those people are around, keep an eye out for a potential weapon and an easy escape route. Also, always choose running the frick away over fighting. You know who cares about you being a coward? Not a single person that matters. Smart people know that the best kind of fight is the one you never have. Look like you know where the frick you're going. Say you're walking through an inner city area, a downtown area, or any crowded place. Really, just keep your eyes focused ahead while really paying attention to your peripheral vision, and most people won't mess with you. Also, if you're a lady, try not to carry a purse into sketchy areas. Go guy and only carry your wallet in a jacket pocket or front jeans pocket, and phone in the same place, and keys, if possible. Where the frick do some of you live? Amongst wild gorillas. I've lived in NYC and Queens. The simple rule for big cities is, don't be super friendly, just be polite, and that's it. But you're not going to get shot or mugged if you happen to catch some guy's eye or accidentally brush up against someone in NYC. Jesus. Maybe if you decide to go visit the crappy parts of Brooklyn at 10 PM. But then, you're an idiot for trying to do that in the first place. This thread is a giant clusterfuck of paranoia. Always watch your drink at clubs. When you're not drinking it, your hand should be covering the top if you're not paying much attention. Same with your butthole. If you don't know someone's ethnicity, don't guess. People may get offended if you don't immediately know where they're from, but they'll be very angry if you call them the wrong one. Also relevant with gender. Who boy? If you hear someone being violated or otherwise seriously injured in a building, like a dorm, that has fire alarms, pull the fire alarm. This advice was given to my dorm mates and I after my next door neighbor was violated in college. Every room is checked when a fire alarm is pulled. Do it. Save lives. Do not wear headphones in public. Do not walk around looking at your phone in public. Do not make eye contact with anyone in public. Do not go out in public. Mostly joking. Everybody. The first two are pretty important, though, as others have mentioned, the smartest street smart thing to do is to remain aware of your surroundings. Wearing headphones and diving into your phone pretty much demolishes your chances of noticing someone who is in your neighborhood and is up to no good. You looked at the stars. White kid here that grew up on the edge of Trenton, and later Philly. Don't dress up to walk around. We used to catch Vicks. If the shoe fits, remove it isn't just a lyric. Wear a cheap butt watch. Pay less shoes. etc. if you go out walking. Carry 2 wads of cash, if you carry any. Keep your real wad in one pocket, and a roll of $3 or $4 in the other. If you get robbed, pull out the ones, and say it's all you have. Dressing cheap helps sell this. Keep your iPod in your pocket, and run the cables up the inside of your clothes. The less there is to grab, the less of a chance of getting it stolen. Wear tight clothes. The tighter they are, the harder they are to pickpocket. If someone grabs your butt, check for your wallet before you start your tantrum of "get away from me." They will likely get away pretty quick anyway. Always check up dangerous and safe areas to avoid in foreign cities. If traveling, I found myself being ambushed and chased by a gang on neo-Nazis at midnight after I got lost in Croatia. Things I learned whilst backpacking North America. Never ask someone to take your picture, especially in a large, crowded area. If you must, ask an elderly person or someone you know you could stop before they merge into a crowd with your camera. When sitting on a patio or in a public area, keep your head on a pivot, look up and around as often as possible, and keep all valuables either on your person or at your feet. If wandering around an unknown part of town and you happen to lose your way, never, ever give the impression that you have. Walk into a populated store, take a moment and reassess yourself and your surroundings. Ask locals for help or hail a cab. Don't whatever you do walk into a pub and immediately ask for help. Being Scottish, I can assure you this doesn't tend to work in any country. A popular one I learned was that if you're walking down the street alone and someone you don't think looks entirely pleasant is walking toward you, walk straight to and, if all goes well, past them. Don't cross the street to avoid them or turn around. They might assume you have something to hide, protect, or are just plain intimidated. Don't give change to the homeless or desperate, especially in North America. Being cynical helps out here. If someone says they need cash for food, water, coffee, etc., but speaks like they've been up all night shooting M or boozing, it's probably because they have. They'll easily forego the $55 you just gave them for your wallet. Never trust strangers or believe them if they tell you they know shortcuts to a location, a good place to party, or they have friends you'll like to meet. Telling someone to frick off in the most menacing tone you can is almost entirely universal and much more effective than asking said pain in the butt to stop or leave you alone. If ever confronted, never put your hands in your pockets, even if you know you could take the offending party on and out. And, as always, keep your wits about you. It's easy to get complacent, especially if you know the place you're in like the back of your hand. Stay safe, my friends. Sounds like I'm writing a travel guide for the Middle East. Stay safe, my friends. The most interesting travel advisor in the world. If you ever travel to a large city, don't look up at the buildings while walking around. That marks you as a tourist and an easy target for muggers. Crap, I do this in my own town. I can't help it if things are pretty when you look up. Wear shades. Dangerous dudes will read your eyes in a nanosecond. If you are a wuss and a pushover, they will know it and take advantage. Also, shades keep you from accidentally challenging someone by looking at them in the wrong way. Just keep the idea in your head at all times, I'm minding my own bleeping business. Plus, sunglasses are intimidating because people can't see your eyes. Psychologically, things without eyes freak you out. As a petite, 26-year-old blonde who works in downtown Los Angeles, lives in Hollywood, and takes public transportation to from work every day, sprinkled in some international weirdo experiences living in London and Shanghai, I am so freaking glad you asked. 1. Under every circumstance walking down the street, appear as though you know exactly where you are going, even and especially if you don't. As already mentioned, duck into a cafe or other shop to check your map or phone. Keep your back to the wall. 2. I am normally a nice person, but on my walks to from work I consciously give off a demeanor of total bitchiness. Anyone who talks to me I either completely ignore or shoot down within 1 or 2 sentences. This usually deflects anyone thinking about initiating a conversation with me, and those that do try and initiate a chat realize that I'm not having any of it very soon after. I know not everyone who talks to me is a threat, but I keep up my guard for those that are. Whatever friends I may have lost more than make up for the amount of times I could have been taken advantage of. I will reiterate that I have seen so many girls risk themselves or their property because they don't want to be seen as a B. 3. Ladies, purses without zippers and shoulder straps only are just asking to be stolen from. Bags only secured to your body by the shoulder are easy to grab off of you, and open-topped bags are easy to slip a hand into without you knowing. I always wear a crossbody strap with a zippered purse and I have never been the victim of a pickpocket. For extra protection, don't let the purse dangle behind your back but rather let it rest on your thigh in front. Backpacks are not safe either. If you can't see your bag, you don't know what might be happening to it. So the fanny pack is all good. If you get lost, turn your dang window lock on so your drunk friend doesn't try to ask every C-kid in West Baltimore for directions. Learn that one the hard way. Super glue can be used to heal cuts. In fact, that's what it was developed for soldiers to use is on themselves. As the wound heals, the glue is pushed out. Handy for knife fights, taps nose. The United States Marine Corps has a few rules of gunfighting that may help you. 1. Be courteous to everyone, friendly to no one. 2. Decide to be aggressive enough, quickly enough. 3. Have a plan. 4. Have a backup plan, because the first one probably won't work. 5. Be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet. 6. Do not attend a gunfight with a handgun whose caliber does not start with a 4. 7. Anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice. Ammo is cheap. Life is expensive. 8. Move away from your attacker. Distance is your friend. Lateral and diagonal preferred. 9. Use cover or concealment as much as possible. 10. Flank your adversary when possible. Protect yours. 11. Always cheat. Always win. The only unfair fight is the one you lose. 12. In 10 years nobody will remember the details of caliber, stance, or tactics. They will only remember who lived. 13. If you are not shooting, you should be communicating your intention to shoot. Some other things include: learn peripheral viewing. Don't go into a situation with crazy eyes. It gives you away. Don't dress in clothing that makes you appear to be part of a particular group. In tactical circles, it's called being a grey man. If you intend to carry a firearm, you should go through thousands of rounds before you even think of doing the CCW paperwork. Desensitize yourself to shooting man-like targets, or you'll never have the testicular fortitude to follow rules 2 and 7. If you intend to carry a knife, have martial arts experience, or you will be killed by your own weapon. Do not enter an altercation if you're only out for personal security. If there's a fight going on, some guy's ganging up on someone, don't even appear to recognize anything's going on. Egress is your primary objective in any situation. It's your best choice if you get into an altercation. Drawing a weapon is always last resort. If you're going to die if you don't engage, then you must engage. Likewise, if yours or someone else's lives are not threatened, do not draw, do not fire, just run. In relation to not being a target, when confronted by an aggressive beggar, street thug, etc., do not take a defensive posture. That is a posture that is leaning backwards with your hands up, kind of like the "we have a badass over here" meme, as this will likely cause the aggressor to act more aggressively. Instead of being defensive, take a more neutral pose. Stand up straight, keep your hands up chest high and out, not back into your body, as this does not make you look like a victim, but more like someone that is ready for something, while not looking aggressive. Practice in the mirror. You will pretty quickly understand what I mean. It is amazing what a slight change in hand position can portray in body language, and how this is instinctively interpreted by an attacker. The best advice is to not look like an easy mark. Don't dress like a tourist fanny packs, etc. Always appear to be walking with purpose and direction, even if you aren't entirely sure where you are going. Keep your eyes and head moving, scanning your immediate surroundings. Be alert. Don't use your telephone, consult maps or schedules, or otherwise appear unsure in a street environment. Pop into a cafe or diner if you need to consult someone. It's all about how you represent yourself. Strive to look alert, stern, and purpose-driven. If you are doing all of these things, and you still feel like people are noticing you more than is normal, trust your instincts. If people are looking at you, then they know you don't belong there and you need to consider leaving pronto. Assume the worst of strangers offering you help for no apparent reason. Kindness exists, but scammers and pickpockets are more abundant. If someone approaches you, have your hands out of your pockets and at your sides. If you are carrying things, try to position so at least one hand is at the ready and the other can quickly drop your baggage and be at the ready. Don't take an aggressive stance, but don't look defenseless either. Watch people's eyes, hands, and stance when they approach and talk to you. You'll most likely be able to tell if someone is squaring off to attack or fight you. Edit. Not to be misunderstood, do not stare at people around you. If anyone is obviously approaching you, it's better to meet their gaze, but don't instigate eye contact with people minding their own business. If a group of people begin looking at you or seem to be following you, this is a major red flag. Muggers and hooligans tend to act in groups. If you think a group is stalking you, remain calm and continue to look self-assured, but also begin considering how you plan to get the heck out of there to a more populated space or police. TLDR. Appearances are everything. Look alert and sure of yourself. Be aware of your hands and stance as well as the hands and stances of others. They'll kick you, they'll beat you, then they'll tell you it's fair. So beat it. I know what you're thinking. But, Dana Boyle, I wanna be bad. Just beat it. Beat it. Beat it. Beat it. I lived in Colombia for 16 years and this was my best trick. When walking in a street and someone is walking in the opposite direction towards you, let them pass you, keeping them between you and the wall side of the street. That way if they try something you have space to flee and you can't bend corner against the wall. 1. Sarcasm is not funny unless someone knows you well, and often not even then. Avoid it. 2. Listen and ask follow-up questions. People want to talk about themselves and you can get the reputation as a great conversationalist without telling a single story. 3. Everyone is insecure and secretly loathes themselves. 4. The best looking girl in the room has also had explosive diarrhea. 5. If someone's pants are hanging down, they're idiots. Don't bother talking to them. 6. Keep your shoulders back and walk purposefully everywhere you go. Keep your head up. Don't look at the ground. 7. Don't try to stare someone down. However, if someone catches you looking, don't look away. Just smile and give them a minor head nod and then you can look away. They won't know what to think. 8. Carry a flashlight. It's far more effective at night than a gun when it comes to avoiding trouble. Get a little super bright one that fits in your pocket. 9. Keep extra water in the car. You never know. 10. Always tip a bartender at least $5 on the first drink. $10 if you're in a decent bar. They'll remember and you won't have to wait so long on a drink. 11. When a girl says, you don't need to wear a condom, wear a condom. 12. When a guy says, you don't need to wear a condom, don't frick him. 13. Don't get in someone's face unless you intend to fight and never push them if they've pushed you. If it comes down to it and someone pushes you, punch them hard, in the nose. Their eyes will water and you can then either continue the fight or get the frick out. Hope that helps. The best looking girl in the room has also had explosive diarrhea. That is really great advice, and can be applied to anyone intimidating, not just pretty ladies. I must be the person with the least street smarts in the world. I actually bought a mixtape from a shady hip hop artist in the middle of London for £5, which was, of course, completely empty. Oh, and I do every single thing that this thread tells me not to. If you are in an area with signs saying beware of pickpockets, do not tap your pocket with your wallet to see if it is still there, or feel for your watch. You just tipped them off to where it is actually kept. Worried that someone is following you but you do not want to turn around and look paranoid? If you are walking next to a building with windows, check the reflection and you can see if someone is coming up on you. Don't try to be harder than you are. Someone will call you out on it. Don't be the masculine guy if you aren't. You don't need to come across as aggressive to be street smart, and it is perfectly acceptable to dodge a bullet by walking away from dodgy situations. Don't be a hipster, the internet will kill you. Don't be normal. Normal people will think you're boring. But if you do try to be harder than you are, just remember to punch them in the dong and run. Always check out your car from a distance as you walk toward it, and check for abnormalities, people around it, something under it, etc. 1. Wear your wallet in your jacket or with a chain. 2. Never step on a black person's Jordans. 3. Have change for transients. 4. Never ride the subway after midnight. 5. Never start crap when by yourself. Never step on a black person's Jordans. Dang straight. Crap gets real. Never count your cash on the street or in a public place. Someone sees you counting bills, they'll be tempted to relieve you of that burden. Former homeless street urchin here. This is going to sound stupid relative to the question, but smile at everyone who looks at you. Don't try to appear street smart. Just speak and interact in your normal dialect and manner. Be forthright. Nothing telegraphs a sucker like someone trying badly to act tough. Keep your mouth shut. Better to be thought a fool than to prove it by speaking. Most people who get themselves into trouble, insert themselves into trouble. Learn to ambiguously raise your eyebrows and say as though thoughtfully considering a statement, rather than responding to it. Look people in the eye when they talk to you or approach you, respectfully and attentively. The left eye is the one to watch, since it is connected to the brain hemisphere that telegraphs emotion. People thinking or checking their memory will look up and to the right, your left. People inventing something will look up and to the left, your right. A person speaking forthrightly will look straight at you. A person who intends some action will look quickly and furtively at your pockets, hands, a partner, whatever action they are planning. Don't be the easiest or most appealing victim. There's a rule of thumb in poker. If you can't spot the sucker at the table, it's you. If anything about the situation doesn't feel right, GTFO immediately. Just leave. When in doubt, run and scream. Seriously, yell out help, police, debauchery, murder, fire and run. It is almost impossible to shoot a running person. and criminals tend to run away from anything that attracts attention. Better to keep your life than your dignity. If you do get into a situation where you cannot escape physical violence, embrace it. Use your hands, feet, teeth, and any object available to inflict as much damage as possible upon the eyes, throat, and genitals of your attacker. The winner of a knife fight is not usually the most skilled fighter, but the one most willing to rush into a sharp object to inflict more violence on the opponent. The overwhelming majority of violent crime is bad guy on bad guy. Hang around with criminals at your peril. Keep your cash and anything else of value in front of you. Fold up your cash and stick it in a front pocket. High bills on the outside, so that you can pull out smaller bills without revealing your whole wad. Don't have a lump in your back pocket. Carry a messenger bag instead of a backpack. Be wary of your friends' shady friends. Smoking pot shouldn't be illegal, but it is. And people in the harmless illegal drug trade know people in the harmful illegal drug trade. Where there are drugs, there are desperate, reckless addicts, and people in dare to dangerous men. It's a small world, and drugs are never that far removed from the kind of Hiroshima drug lords in Juarez or whatever. You and your friends might boycott Walmart or whatever, but someone they know shops there. Having street smarts is like any other trained skill. You can read about how to drive a stick shift all day, but you really won't have it down until you have the clutch beneath your feet. Get out there. Skyrim, Reddit, and that latest Haskell article you've been meaning to read will still be there when you get home. Hop on a city bus and go somewhere. If anyone asks you for gas money, or money for a tow truck or a train or bus ticket, and they tell you their kids or their pregnant wife is in the car, they're lying. They might say that they want your address to send you the money. They're lying. 3-card Monty is a scam. You will never win. Even if you manage to guess the right card, which is rare, because usually they're palming it. That means someone is working you or the crowd from behind. Picking pockets. Don't keep your cash in your wallet. Keep a couple of bucks in there. If you get mugged, they'll probably take your wallet. If the actual cash is in your pocket, you'll probably be alright. Pay attention to your surroundings. Look behind you periodically. Look ahead and to the sides. Be respectful to people. You will get back what you give. When someone aggressively tries to sell you something or approach to talk to you for a minute, just keep walking and say no thanks. The most important lesson you can learn, and I do realize this is cynical, is that nobody can be trusted before a long period of building trust. If anybody seems friendly and they don't know ya, they got an agenda. Now sometimes this might coincide with your desires, but always be wary. There's simply no free lunch. Never flinch. Doesn't matter what happens. Never be surprised. I've had both knives 5 times and guns twice pulled on me while I was alone with no chance of help, and I walked out of both fine. Everything was always expected. You aren't worried, and you're fine. If they are going to kill you, then you are going to die. If they have doubts, you being calm is less likely to push them over the edge. Not cocky, just calm. Being unflappable is 9 parts of success in a bad situation. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.